So this is Bob Rapp, and I'm just sharing you kind of a day zero moment. One of the best things that I've seen on Amazon recently, and I'm going through each of the services and getting comfortable with them, but I've gotten really excited about this particular service. This is something called Amazon Connect Virtual Contact Center instances. And I've actually put a couple of those instances up, and actually I'm going to go ahead and remove those just so that I can, let's see, Bob Rapp. I actually am going to claim a number this time and actually use this as an ongoing test. So I'm going to get rid of this one. This is a Bob Rapp UK test 1. What this contact center does is it takes, I don't know how many, millennia of brilliance and turns it into a set of services that really changes the game for contact center. Just to be clear, to define the terms, a contact center is generally defined as a thing, an inbound set of calling queues where there are people, sometimes around the country, sometimes around the world, that are doing tech support or phone answering of some sort, retail, whatever. And in my case, I've spent a lot of my time with the telcos. So if you have a problem with your cell phone or your home phone service or your internet or whatever, you're probably calling one of these places. So I'm going to create a location here. I'm going to call this Bob Rapp US test, US telco test. And there's three different things we can do. We can link to an existing directory. Active Directory is probably the most common, or any SAML, LDAP, the kind of authentication scheme. I just want to show you how simple this is. So normally best practice would be adding a new admin. By the way, I'm using Google Chrome, which is a supported browser. I use Apple for lots of stuff, nearly everything. And then I want, this is amazing to me, I want Amazon Connect to handle incoming and outbound calls. Okay. Those two check buttons are really quite extraordinary. So now I have a storage location. It's just a bucket, right? Called, this is the US test here. And then I have a contact flow location. I could customize my settings some more, but I just want to do a quick and dirty to show you how quickly I can actually create an instance and start actually making a phone call. And I've got an old Polycom with a wired copper connection here on my desk. As an old telco guy, I do also like to occasionally flirt with the thing that puts copper end to end around the world. It's kind of still cool. So I'm going to actually make a call to my own call queue here, and hopefully it'll be loud enough that you can hear it on this Camtasia recording. So this is fairly extraordinary stuff, and if I think about the really billions of dollars that have been spent by telcos, particularly to set up their own queues, contact centers, upgrade them, as well as, frankly, for their customers. Or if I think about maybe the place that Avaya has been over the years and where it currently is, and you just think about contact centers. This is putting the power of a set of lifetimes of investments in the hands of every developer, so that anybody, a small business and enormous business, can get started. So that's it. Now we're going to choose our phone number and start accepting calls, and we could actually publish this and have customers call it. So that's what you're going to see now. Which I find amazing. If you think about what you can do in an hour, in this case, we're doing it in less than an hour. We're going to go ahead to Amazon Connect, and we're going to claim a phone number. Now, be a little careful when you're doing these tests. When you're claiming a phone number, you really actually are truly claiming a phone number. I'm going to go to the United States. I've got a choice of direct dial and toll free. In this case, I'm just going to pick the direct dial because most people, when doing these tests, there's no additional long distance cost. I'm just going to pick a number that looks nice. Yeah, that's got some nice elements to it. And so I'm going to go ahead and pick a phone number. I'm going to go ahead and make a call. So I think you should be able to hear my Polycom. So I'm going to do 1 520 848 4966. And you'll notice that, that's interesting. Let me try that one more time. 1 520 848 4966. didn't work as expected. Let me try it one more time here. Maybe I need to claim the phone number. Yeah, sorry about that. I'm still learning. We do. I'm gonna go ahead and claim that phone number and claim it. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and do let's go ahead and just do the first one here. Test of Bob Rapp US low. And I'm going to do, probably this will just be a sample for a queued callback, because we don't want to do something as clever as a Lambda function yet. We just want to, there's the first phone number. Okay, now we're going to try. Okay, yep. So we're going to try the first one.
This flow will allow you to request a callback and be called when an agent is available. The time in queue is less than 5 minutes. Press 1 to go into queue or 2 to enter a callback number.
So I'm entering a callback number.
Enter the number you would like to be called back at. You will be called back when the next agent is available.
So that's fairly amazing to me. And when I look at my dashboard now, we should see a queue. Of course, we haven't yet actually created any routing or any other stuff. So if we take a look at our dashboard, let's take at our metrics and quality. Let's take real-time metrics here. Here's our queues. Now, we haven't created any of these things yet, of course, but we've actually have a working thingy, right? So we have one thing in the queue, basic queue. It's just 26 seconds old because we just did it. And if you think about what our queues, hours of operations, all this other stuff, there's all sorts of metrics around them. But I want to go into the part to show you that I find extraordinary, because having read the documentation, but certainly not being an expert on this, I can set the hours of operation, creating the queues, which basically says things like what languages do people have, what skills do they have, what countries they're in, those sorts of things. That's the creating the queues. Creating the prompts. We're going to actually go in and create a prompt. I'm going to do a prompt right now for that sample dial back. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and create a new prompt. And I'm going to record it just here on my Mac and allow the use of the Mac. And I'm going to say, thank you for calling Big Retailer. Your time really matters to us, and so we'd like to make sure you don't have to wait on hold unnecessarily. Just put in your phone number, including your area code and your country code, and we'll call you back as soon as we have an agent who matches your skill sets. This will probably take up to 15 minutes based on averages. Thanks a lot. Have a good day. Okay, and then we'll say friendly callback, 15 or so minutes, skills based. And we're going to create that. And each of the things that I've done here really doesn't require any development skills. It's just someone who can I go through this set of configuration routines? Do I understand what they do? If I don't, I can play around with them. So create the prompts. Contact flows are really things like, what do I want to have occur? So do I want to use Lex? So do I want to use natural language? Do I want self-service interactions? Do I want, for instance, to do an A/B test? A very cool thing, where I can see which is the most effective thing. Or one of my favorites, sample lambda integration. So based on something, right? Data on your phone, looks like your cell phone has an issue. we've done a Lambda conclusion that you need a new OS upgrade or something. Again, these are pre-built for you. You can make all these changes. Now, the one thing about contact flows that I find kind of interesting is, let's go ahead and, when we learn the contact flows, let's go ahead and create a new one. Or actually, let's just look at the Lambda one, maybe, because Lambda is a really, really cool thing to do. Imagine having a serverless infrastructure that just acts on data. So here we go, Contact Flow Designer. Now I've got, again, I would call it the million or billion dollar tool here. I've got a Contact Flow Designer so I can actually look at someone else's flow. So I can say, I'm going to start here. We're performing something. Then we're invoking a Lambda function, success or failure, right? Based on what happened, if we had a matched attribute, do something. If not, else, do something else, if then else kind of thing. Transfer the flow to someone and then disconnect or terminate the event. Now, I have these pre-made objects so I could drop in another prompt, or I could store a customer input or whatever, and then I just got to wire these up. Probably snap to grid isn't a bad thing to do here. And again, this just comes out of the box with Amazon Connect. This is just extraordinary stuff. Obviously, you're going to want to create some queues here. So based on skill sets, language, whatever, some routing profiles. These typically are, the agent's going to service certain contacts with certain skills at certain times. We're going to set up users that have permissions to both create and manage the queues, but also to respond to the data. And then all kinds of information management, saved reports. You just take a look at the kinds of reports that come out of the box. There's a ton, and the good news is we don't have any reports yet because we literally just have me as the one phone call. I got to tell you, I think Amazon has gotten a lot of things right in the world. I don't know if they've gotten anything that's more exciting to an old telco guy than this. This is really extraordinary. So thank you, all of the people that built this. You did great. Appreciate your work. Thanks.